Director Hallam descended the stairs with the measured confidence of someone who'd been expecting this conversation for months. Her silver hair caught the harsh fluorescent light, and her civilian suit looked absurdly out of place in the industrial maintenance tunnel. "You can come up, Mr. Morrow," she called down conversationally. "I know you're listening from sublevel 8. Your fragment signature is quite distinctive once you know what to look for." Kael's hunger spiked as panic flooded his system. Hunger, 89/100. Immediate feeding required. The notification pulsed like a warning beacon as he climbed the stairs on unsteady legs. The ammunition storage room had become a tableau of frozen tension. Sable stood with hard light constructs flickering around her fists, ready for a fight she couldn't win. Ghost had gone fully solid, her escape routes useless with Hallam blocking the only exit. Ren clutched his tablet like a shield while Okafor's prosthetic arm whirred with mechanical precision as his hand moved toward his sidearm. "Please," Hallam said, settling onto an empty supply crate with casual elegance. "Let's dispense with the theatrics. Commander Okafor, your weapon won't penetrate my personal shielding, and Conductor Voss, your hard-light constructs would barely scratch my defensive protocols." She gestured to the scattered documents. "I assume you've reviewed the Meridian files. Impressive detective work, though I did leave the security somewhat deliberately accessible." "You wanted us to find it," Kael said, his voice rough with barely controlled hunger. "I wanted you to find it." Hallam's pale eyes focused on him with unsettling intensity. "The others are collateral to our conversation." Hunger, 92/100. Critical override imminent. The fragment's need was becoming overwhelming, turning his vision red around the edges. Everyone in this room blazed with resonance, rich, available power that could silence the screaming in his bones. "You're wondering why I'm not calling security," Hallam continued. "Why I'm not ordering your immediate arrest and containment. The answer is simple: I need you functional, not dissected on a laboratory table." Sable's hard light flared brighter. "Functional for what?" "The same thing Fragment 7 was designed for before Commander Okafor severed the connection." Hallam's gaze shifted to Okafor's prosthetic arm. "Warning systems. The fragments aren't parasites, children. They're refugees. And whatever they were fleeing is still coming." The room went dead silent except for the distant hum of ventilation systems. Kael felt the fragment stir with something approaching recognition. "She speaks truth," it whispered. "The hunters follow. Always following." "The dimensional barriers are thinning," Hallam said, her voice taking on the cadence of a briefing. "Reality distortions are increasing across all major residue zones. The fragments scattered when they crossed over, but they're being drawn back together by something on the other side. Something that wants them back." She stood, smoothing her suit with practiced precision. "I offer you a choice. Help me complete the reunification under controlled conditions, and I'll protect you from the core council members who would vivisect you for science. Refuse, and face what's coming without preparation or allies." Hunger, 95/100. System override in progress. Kael's hand started shaking violently. The fragment's presence expanded in his mind like spilled acid, burning away rational thought and leaving only need. "And the people in those pods?" Ghost snarled. "The torture victims you've been harvesting?" "Unfortunate necessities," Hallam said without a flicker of remorse. "The extraction process required refinement. Early subjects were less than successful. But their sacrifice has advanced our understanding considerably." "You're insane." Sable's voice cracked with rage. "I'm pragmatic." Hallam reached into her jacket and withdrew a small device, sleek black metal covered in alien script. "The hunger is consuming you, Mr. Morrow. 95% and climbing. Would you like immediate relief?" The device hummed to life in her palm, and Kael gasped as the burning ache in his bones suddenly stopped. The hunger notifications vanished. The fragment's clawing need quieted to barely a whisper. For the first time in days, he could think clearly. Temporary suppression field, Hallam explained clinically. Redirects the fragment's feeding requirements through alternate channels. No need to drain your friends. No risk of losing control. The relief was intoxicating. Kael found himself stepping closer, drawn by the promise of freedom from the fragment's endless appetite. All I require is cooperation, Hallam continued. Help me locate and retrieve the remaining fragments. Assist with the controlled reunification process. In return, you keep your humanity while gaining the power to face what's coming. Okafor's voice cut through the temptation like a blade. She'll betray you the moment you're no longer useful. That's what people like her do. But the hunger was gone. The constant ache, the driving need, the fear of losing control, all of it silenced by the device in her palm. Hallam smiled with cold satisfaction. I'll give you time to consider. But decide quickly. The dimensional barriers won't hold much longer. Later, after Hallam left them with their impossible choice, ran his scanner over the suppression device she'd demonstrated. His face went white as the data populated his screen. Kael, he whispered. This thing doesn't suppress hunger. It redirects it. The readings showed active power drain, 5 distinct signatures being siphoned from the facility below. You weren't feeding on nothing, Ren said, his voice hollow with horror. You were feeding on the prisoners in the pods.